Do you like it like
Is
this?
it time? Is it time?
Is it time?
Yeah, baby, we're coming up. And we're live.
Because we know what time it is. Yes, we are so live. Let me tell you, I got a brand new costume, Zaffron. Look,
Yes.
Samantha didn't even notice.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Got
notice.
your Beyonce shirt?
No, this is not. First of all, it's Diana Ross. I wore this for your mother because I owed her phone calls. I never sent her text messages.
She got your vlog.
Oh my God. I was dictating and I kept going and going and going.
It was a video.
Oh, my vlog. Oh my
I love
God.
your vlogs.
I have to vlog people because I cannot text. And now I really can't text. I can't.
Wow.
It's totally. So let me tell you something. What can happen to you in an Uber accident can happen to anybody. All right? One Uber accident and everything falls apart. The baby toe gets broken. You're like, who needs a pinky toe? They say they're going to take out the bone. Fine. Who needs a baby toe? Who needs a baby toe, okay? So now I got this whole new thing going on with the baby toe. Just in a park, most people, they push kids strong, whatever. Not me. Just standing there, watching this kid go, and all of a sudden I go back. And when I tell you that the concussion was so strong, I just kept, I was numb. It felt great. Just like I'm sorry guys, but like I was dead for a second. And I was like, wow. And they were like, we're losing. I was like, give me a minute. Enjoying it. You know what I mean? My kids said they'll be there in 30 minutes. Give me a second. But they got me into this ambulance and cut my good bra. And let me tell you, when you're small, you have a good bra, okay? And they cut my good bra. And I figured that day, let me wear my husband's shirt. He's not here. Who would think that they'd cut his shirt? He's like, the one with the bear? You cut my shirt with the bear? I'm in the hospital. So he's screaming at them, do not take my wife to Bellevue. If you know anything about Bellevue Hospital, you know that it's normally for people that they will say is mentally unwell or going through psychotic breakdowns. And what they don't tell you is that they have an excellent ICU ward. So when I hear trauma and I hear ICU, I'm like, I see you too, right? So I ain't got to be here. It's time for us to wrap it up. We got to go. Until my doctor just turns around and says to my daughter, before I did this, I did cabaret. Now that doesn't really hit me hard. They gave me if you guys know anything about drugs, 2 milligrams of oxycodone. I'm not having my teeth cleaned, okay? Like, I need some serious shit, because they gave me fentanyl in the beginning, and I'm, like, arguing. Like, I don't want fentanyl. Like, I don't need any new addictions besides pumpkin seeds right now. That now my birds have, and we're fighting over pumpkin seeds. And my daughter's like, I hate to tell you, the bird shit all in your hair. I was like, well, no, not my hair. And I go back here, and it's pumpkin seeds. They have actually, like, just chewed pumpkin. And I love it. Now I take them out of the bag and put them in a black bag so that they don't know they're pumpkin seeds.
Oh
But now whenever I take out the garbage and I go out with the bag, they think there's going to be pumpkin seeds coming. And my husband hates pumpkin seeds. He hates them. He had no idea. He said when he was dating me the first time he came home, he thought he came home to a bear because I was drinking a bottle of honey. Hello there, talking about honey. Walked in, tall, dark, handsome. Wow. I love tinted glasses. You're all tall, dark, and handsome. You guys knew me when I had teeth, when you could see me, when I could see you. Now I don't remember. And I don't have to feel bad about it anymore. But that's the story of the birds. Yeah, that's my new sign. Oh my God, I have to call your mother. She's not going to believe it. So then my dentist says to me today, You have to go to Cuba, she says, to have somebody take this curse off of you. Okay? She's like, somebody who does Santeria, Brujeria. And I said to her, I have asabachis. I've got rosaries. I've got Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. All right? I've got friggin' mezuzahs all over the place. That's why I'm protected. I don't know. Some people see it like that, but I think I could be dead. Yeah, Mark, you gotta stop. He's the only man in the world that will say that. But he was screaming, "Don't take her to Bellevue, they'll keep her." It was really beautiful until I heard all this like electric stuff, like Star Wars, and Aviva comforts me and goes, "No, they're tasing them." I said, "Oh, okay," because I feel much better. Wait a minute, the last thing you want to see as a woman coming out of this crazy concussion, right, are all these men in orange jumpsuits. They get hotter and hotter and hotter. All right, that's what I was trying to do, is to get that show going. Why? Because so many things are going on in the world that I'm not going to even start talking about it because I don't know what's going on. Oh, I got something to tell you guys. And for you guys from St. Teresa's, St. John's, Patterson Catholic, Seton Hall University, Sister Philomena's on a true crime show. My nun's on a true crime show. I'm watching this show, Let the Devil In, right? And I'm looking at this, and they're talking about this, this nun, but she's not wearing her headgear. So I'm looking, and I said, I know this nun. I tell Mark, right? I'm trying to wake him up. I go, there's a nun on TV. You think you know every nun. No, I don't know every nun. But I know this one, all right, because she was petrified of me. And she was very, very sweet. Now, I'm going to give you the backstory quick. I got thrown out of my grammar school. I said Jesus Christ. Not a big deal to you guys. I can't even think of what I could say in Hebrew that would be so bad, all right? Except maybe Shabbat sucks. Like, what's so bad? I said Jesus Christ, it throw me out. I have no other school accepts me. Except school by the jail. So they accept me, and it's a private school. I mean, Catholic private. So I still don't have to get killed. Maybe, but I'm messing with the prisoners now through the window. We're like, I have candy, you can't have none. It's terrible. What am I doing? I'm taunting them. I'm taunting prisoners. What's wrong with me? So here's what happened. It's book report day. I got in trouble, and this is how Aaron and how we connected over some stupid Catholic school thing. And I'm talking about Cheech and Chong and Sister Mary Elephant. He goes, excuse me, it was Cheech and Chong. No, I go, it was George Carlin. And he goes, wasn't George Carlin, it was Cheech and Chong. And I look at him, I go, it was not. Because I used to get in trouble saying, Sister Mary Elephant. And I said, I'll bet you $100. He goes, I don't gamble or something like that, whatever. He says to me in my ear, should have made that bet. I go, why? He goes, it was Cheech and Chong. So you kind of know your nun stories, getting back to this. So back to the story. So I'm at this new school. I'm already in trouble for a stabbing, okay? I stabbed the guy. I stabbed him with a pencil through his hand because they were calling me white girl and dumb white bitches and stuff like that, and I hated that. And they were talking about my nose looking like a ski slope. I got really mad about that. And so why would they call me these names while you're looking at my hair? Is I used to wear it straight, and I came from an all-white school to, like, an all-black Spanish school where the white girl thought she was black. She was like, don't call me Denise, call me D. And I was like, oh, okay, D. I didn't know, I didn't know what to do with D. And I know what to do with Kenny Easton. God bless you, Kenny, I love you. We're going to be working with this poor guy. He has a scar in his hand. The only reason why I'm telling you this is book report day. And I do a book report on The Exorcist. And nobody has heard of it in my class. I can't imagine these people know The Exorcist, right? Because their parents won't let them read it. It's not for kids. So, from the archdiocese, I have to have a meeting, if you know what the archdiocese is. But they didn't have the priests. They only had the nuns. Sister Philomena is one of these nuns. So she's a believer, okay? Like, they thought I was possessed or something. Think about it. Who takes a meeting? Because I did William Peter Blatty, The Exorcist. The kids were petrified. They were like, this bitch is crazy, okay? I was like, and then she vomits. After she takes the crucifix and does terrible things. I mean, I told it all. And now I get it, why they got so serious about it, because the person they're talking about in Evil Lives Here with the nun, she said she felt evil. She felt ice cold around her when this killer was around. I mean, Sister Philomena had good something. She had some waves, man. She would never have me as a student. She wouldn't. She wouldn't take me once. She would not take me once in high school because I was like, I recognize her. I remember that.
What was the crime? She's like, I'm so.
I couldn't read those books. You
You're
can't.
like, you're,
No, what was the
she
crime?
was in a true crime doc. You never said what is.
Because the guy
What
got
crime?
obsessed from a Catholic school, got obsessed with Satanism.
Oh.
This we're talking about like late 70s. Like this is Aaron, like not that long ago. We're still breathing. And got himself obsessed, got his friends involved, I guess, and they were altar boys. And then he killed his mother. But here's the thing. He killed himself by cutting off his own neck and his wrist, which is impossible because your wrist can't move and you can't get to your windpipe by yourself, but there's no other steps around. It was done with a Boy Scout knife that was used to kill his mother. So sometimes you have to believe that there's evil. You know, like he was paranoid schizophrenic probably, you know, but was also hearing stuff. No, seriously. Well, this is what the priest said. One of the priests is like, well, that's what you want to hear because the other side's just too scary. I mean, like, think about that. Like, but what's Sister Philomena doing on true crime? They talk about me. You don't know anything about me with that. Once in a while, I watch true crime, a little bit. All right, and while I'm not watching true crime, I hear this howling in the background. Okay, get him! Ah! Hope she falls down the stairs. And that's usually my husband talking about our neighbors upstairs. But let's give him a few minutes. Come on, Smiley Wiley. Why don't you come up here? America's sweetheart, Mark Safran. Come on, Speedy. That's why I used to call that nun Speedy.
See, well, just while I'm going to get on stage, you don't want to hear it. But let's talk about true evil. All right?
Oh no.
So just to correct some of the misstatements just made, I met some of those people from St. whatever it is. Right. Here I am in court, bailing somebody from the family out because he decided to go stalking some woman in the mall. Wouldn't listen. And we said, what are you doing there? I said, I had to buy some socks. They got socks other places. So he needs his leather jacket taken away from him. No, I don't have to. The fact that your brother was a stalker. It was Jason. Anyhow, all of a sudden, Sunda goes running around the courtroom, grabs this Puerto Rican guy, starts screaming at him. It was a junkie that she went to elementary school. And she starts lecturing him out in the hallway. She goes, are you high? He goes, no, I booted up before I came. I mean, come on, this is the mentality of junkies, all right? Did you go to the bathroom to boot up? Well, so let's talk about evil and curses and demons. Portland, Oregon is burning again. Now, the big mistake that Portland, Oregon made, and it started exactly after they did this, is they fuck with Sunda. They arrested her on Alaska Airlines. You know, this 375-pound Samoan stewardess. It all involved a German Shepherd who was evil. The son of some guy who was a stockholder in the airline, and this stewardess. Sunda's wearing a fur coat. Black woman in a fur coat, not allowed to be sitting in first class. All right? Here she is, and I know what happened. She fell asleep on the guy. And when they woke her, she went, ah! So they say you're making a mess. They have too much power, the stewardesses on airlines. They should going to keep their mouths shut. You know, you hear about people being duct taped down and everything else. There's a simple solution to it. No booze. Don't serve these people booze. First of all, the Samoans shouldn't be drinking. Indians can't drink. You know that. Don't you serve that Indian no alcohol. And they're not even Indians. All right? But it was crazy. Sunda put a curse on Portland, Oregon. Ever since she put that curse on Portland, Oregon, they've been having troubles. First, they had Antifa move in. Then they have the junkie situation there is fascinating. All right, there have people been video junkies in Portland. Portland has the most interesting group of mentally ill junkies everywhere. They beat the people across the street. In case no one noticed, the LA School of Comedy is under siege right now by the homeless. All right, we never know. Just yesterday, I'm in here. It's Sunday. I'm in here with Sunda and some kid. We're trying to train him on the equipment, and all of a sudden, some guy sets up shop outside. He has his shopping cart, pulls out his chair, sits himself down, sets himself up. And I know this guy's dangerous. I told him to stay away from that one. That's the one that screamed at me when I said, "Get the fuck out of here." He said, "My father was a veteran." Who gives a shit? Your father was a veteran. What war? The Battle of the Bulge? Come on, give me a break. Then we got an old lady set herself up on the corner by the gas station. This poor guy in the gas station is terrified. Terrified. He comes to me one day, he goes, "Look, I can do nothing about it." So we walk out and he starts showing me where he has one guy behind by the garbage, sets up his Mad Hatter's suite. He has this whole thing set up. We have the little old lady with the cart, right? Yeah. She's always either stripping one of them or getting robbed. All right, we have the one with the scissors, you know, the big black one with the schmata on her head. She's dangerous, but they're all the same. But then I'm walking over to Pete's Coffee the other day, looking across the street, I'm thinking to myself, what if they doubled the amount of the homeless here? Somebody must be charging them rent. It's unbelievable. And what they have is, why did we set them up with these tents? These tents are part of the enabling of this issue. This is white guilt, or more importantly, bougie guilt, because our mayor has bougie guilt. All right, you take mentally ill people, you take them off the street, you treat them. Somebody has a drug problem, you help them, you treat them. You don't say homelessness is not a lifestyle. Now, the progressives, I'm not allowed to talk politics, but it is the progressives. The progressives want you to believe that homelessness is a lifestyle. No, it's not. All right? That's no life or style for anybody. Why did we get a next have a magazine? Homeless shelters? We're going to have, all of a sudden, House and Gardens is going to do a spread on homeless encampments. You see, over here, we have so-and-so, which reminds me. All right, when I was at my old law firm, Sura and I went to the opening dinner of the Los Angeles office. We're coming down this street to a fancy restaurant, and this one homeless person built himself a 2-story shed. Right there on the street, right? You see the 2-story shed? Right? So why is he there? We figured out why the homeless was there, because they filled up this old industrial place with restaurants. That was the best fucking garbage in L.A. Because I said to the restaurant guys, "What do you do?" And he goes, "Oh, we put the extra food out for the homeless." I said, "It's like rats. You're just attracting them here. They're running down the corner and you're getting, hey, come on over here. They give us food at night." Because, you know, most people go to restaurants, don't eat the food. They leave it on their plates. You bring a girl out that thinks she's too fat. She pushes some food around. Some homeless guy gets a real meal. Well, the real waste of food in America is astounding. It's disgusting. All right? It is. It's ridiculous. All right? We should just take all that food, pick it up, have a distribution center somewhere and say, "Come and get it." But the whole point is, you can't keep pushing them for, like they're pushing them off Sepulveda and they're all coming over here to the West Side. These people over here pay taxes. Don't these politicians realize, other than the fact that they're dumb liberal progressives, they're going to vote them out of office sooner or later? As you get the strangest things, is we have a Ring, alarm system, and you're hooked up for Ring neighborhood. These people are crazy. "There's a junkie at my front door stealing my packages. Package thief on Sepulveda." But the craziest thing that's going on in L.A. right now is coyotes. Coyotes in this neighborhood, they're all over the place. But these people don't realize why the coyotes are here. They were burned out of the Pacific Palisades. It's the fires. And who caused the fires? Gavin Newsom.
Wait.
Yes, he did. Gavin Newsom is at fault for every single wildfire. There's only one. You have to take care of your forests. You have to send people in to do burns. You have to cut. You have to treat them and shepherd them like they're your garden. That way you don't have fires. But he got sucked in with the tree huggers. All right? The tree huggers are unbelievable because they don't want to touch anything. So what do we end up with? More wildfires. All right. Now they looked at Pacific Palisades, and with their bougie, uppity, educated guilt, they said, "Ooh, this is great. If we don't give these people permits, we can put low-income housing here." Can you imagine the Pacific Palisades filled with projects? No, really, really. Where are you going to put? Really, it's not a good location for drug dealers. There's only one way out. It's not good. They can't escape through the other projects. All right, it's not going to work. Give it back. Because what they do is they want to destroy your tax base. So here I am. I'm a New Yorker, terrified about what's going to go on in New York. Thank God Eric Adams, who I happen to personally like, dropped out of the race. I don't like Cuomo, but this Mamdani, he don't get it. But the good part is the last time we had a guy like Mamdani was John Lindsay, and he bankrupted the city. So here's what's going to happen. Mamdani's going to bankrupt the city. He's going to surrender to the school teachers. He's going to surrender to all these unions. They're all going to, first day. And this is what's going to happen. It happened to Lindsay. Gets elected, promised all this shit. First day, guess what happens? There are going to be a lot of people at your door looking for their shit. All right? There are going to be all these activists that represent all these fringe groups that you promised something to. And guess what? They show up day one. And what are you going to do? Close your door? Talking a word salad like Kamala Harris? No. You're going to have to figure out a way to make everybody happy. And it ain't going to work. These people, not only what you promised is going to make them happy, they're never happy because we have made them dependent on us making them happy. Does that sound like a Kamala word salad? The dependence upon us making them happy is dependent upon them becoming happy. I'm getting better at that.
Good tongue twister.
What?
Good tongue twister.
To a tongue twister? Oh, listening to her was fascinating. She even wrote it in her book. She wrote word salads in her book. But again, I'm gonna stop on this note. If you want to get elected again and want everybody to support you, you don't trash everybody that came behind you. Now, I can understand Joe Biden. All right, his wife was evil, no question about it, and she was the one that was getting Hunter's drugs, no question about that either. Though I wonder whose drugs was in the White House. It was probably Jill's. She stepped out, picked up, went to the store and did a run for Hunter. She was keeping him happy. No, but it was a mean White House. Joe was with the auto pen, having a good time, eating ice cream. Kamala just, felt left out. But what I don't understand is why don't you do something about it? And the answer is she's lazy. No, she's lazy. She's shiftless and lazy. All right? But on that note, now that I trashed everybody, back to Portland, Oregon. I caught my wife the other day with some, that woman said go to Cuban for Santeria. That's why I went into the thing about Portland. Sunda don't need no Santeria. She does it all by herself. That's what happened to Portland, Oregon. And believe me, there is a map of Portland, Oregon buried somewhere in my house with pins stuck in it that she burns every so often. All right? Thank you.
That's a crazy story.
It's true.
But I did have a Cuban friend.
Yeah.
Listen, she called me to come into the studio. Not the studio, the dry cleaners where I used to shop. No, I'm kidding, where I used to work. And she had me take a doll off of her Volkswagen and pee on it to break a spell. And I came from my grandmother's house in a taxi because I didn't drive. And I had to take this doll off of her car, which was sitting there with these pins in it, and bring it in the bathroom. And I peed on this doll. Isn't that just crazy?
So is Danya.
It wasn't Danya. It wasn't her. But her family does watch it, and thank you so much. Let me tell you, now that's a real friend. I used her real name for Maria Santiago de Velasquez. She picked up the phone. She didn't sue me. She picked up the phone and said, don't use my name again.
Which one?
Stop. Stop. You've been married more than once yourself. But this gentleman coming to the stage is in charge of something really important that you all need. We need our podcast done. We need so many things to keep us relevant. But at the end of the day, no matter how much acting you study, no matter how many years you've studied, they're going to give you a script, and then they're going to change that script on you. And when you find someone that can teach you with less stress, go for it. Because I'm here to teach you comedy and stress you out. And here Aaron's trying to teach you comedy so you don't memorize yourself out waiting for the next line. I bring to you the director of the Film Actors Cafe, Aaron McIntyre.
Oh my God, so much to talk about. Yeah, don't worry about Santeria. I take care of you. And tree huggers, oh please, Berkeley, California, the home of the tree huggers. That's where I hail from recently. I moved down here about 3 years ago from Berkeley. And by the way, they are not homeless, okay? They're unhoused. Because it's very important. Because I don't know why. It's kind of crazy. But I am a mess, a total mess. I mean, everything about me. You know, not like you. I mean, you know, he's got the Gandalf thing. You know, what is it? No, who is the elf? Yes, there we go. The bowman. The bowman. You got the hair. You know, you have hair. I don't have it. It won't grow anywhere except where I don't want it to grow. Everywhere that I don't want it to grow, it just like pours out. I mean, I have to shave my ears like 3 times a week. They're getting a little shaggy right now. I can feel them, you know. It's getting a little prickly back there. I have no lips. Thank you, Dad. Fucking Dad. This is a little. It's like somebody cut my face or something. No, yeah, I just had a nose job, and it didn't work. I mean, my nose is still there, but, you know, it looks great. It looks really fantastic. But, yeah, I went in because the top part kept collapsing. It was like I'd be breathing, and it would just go click, and it would click down, and then I'd have to go like that to unclick it. And I told her that, and she said, "Oh, yeah, deviated septum." And that's not racist. That was just a very good impression. Yeah, it's just a deviated septum. So they did the deviated septum, and yeah, they did. You know, it's like now the septum in the middle is straight, but this thing is even worse now. So now I can't sleep on my left side because my nostril collapses. So I always have to turn over and open it up, and it's just a mess. I have no ass. I mean, I do have an ass, but you really have to look for it. You know, I mean, you really have to be honing in on that thing. You know, it's like the girth that I have. I don't have a lot of girth. I know. I'm not too bad, but there's still a little flab right here and then right under the belt. So it's like the belt just kind of splits it in half, and I've got 2 for the price of 1. It's really fantastic. Yeah, hair on my back. And what is it with all the guys with the top knots? You know, the people who like shave the sides of their heads and then they have the little bun on the top there. It's like a fuck you to bald people, you know? It's like, yeah, look at me. I can shave where you have it. Just really don't like that. What else? Bug eyes. Mom gave me those. Mom gave me the bug eyes. Dad gave me the no lips. And so I did love my mother. She was great, actually. She was actually not very affectionate at all. She used to say, "Yeah, I don't like kids until they get to the point to where I can tell them what to do." So that's, you know, what, 16? You know, that's about as close as you get to that. Yeah, she was the kind of mother that, you know, if you came in and you were like, "Oh, I broke my arm," she'd go, "Can you move it?" And she'd like move it around. You have those kinds of parents? You know, like, spit on it and rub it in the dirt. That was my favorite thing. She would, "Oh, Mom, I cut my arm. I'll spit on it and rub it in the dirt." Oh, she was really, really, really great. She was at a cocktail party when I fell out of the second-story window on my head. Right out of a second-story window, dove right out onto a dog house. Fortunately, it wasn't one of those Peanuts dog's houses, so I wasn't split in half. But my sister was watching me. My parents had just got there. My dad was the commander of the military base, so they're at this fancy cocktail party where they're welcoming the new family, you know, the new commander. And my sister calls and goes, "He just fell out of the window." And my mom said, "He better really be hurt." And what do they do? What do you do? I'm going to ask anybody out there who is like a human being, like a compassionate, understanding, wonderful human being. What do you do when a child of 8 falls out of a second-story window on their head? What would you do? You would probably run in, pick them up, take them in, call the hospital, get the ambulance out there. No, my sister calls my parents at a cocktail party. Then she takes me upstairs and fills a bathtub and puts me in it. So I was completely unconscious because I went into shock, obviously, you know, when I saw about that much light, you know, because I was I'll tell the story later. Stupid 8-year-old kid. And so anyway, she said I was walking around. I don't remember any of this shit, you know. What I remember is seeing that much light, and the next thing I knew, I was in mid-scream in a half-filled tub of bloody water. So she put me in the bath to clean me up before we went to the hospital, you know, to get the fucking cut in my head done. I mean, jeez. I've told this story many times, but I used to want to be Mike Connors. For anyone who is Mike Connors, because he had fucking great hair, man. That guy had great hair. Manics, yeah. So Manics, when he had this opening where he would jump over this railing, you know, like you run up to the railing and you put your one hand on and you flip yourself over. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And I started to do it on our couch, you know, because it had a back, you know, and I could run along. It was kind of a curved one, so I could run along and go, woo, and jump over it. My mom caught me. She says, don't do that again. Stop doing that. Okay. So one day she's back in the back of the house. She's vacuuming. So there's noise. I know she won't hear me. She's way far away. So I run and I jump, and my foot got cut on the back of the couch, and I go, boom, knocked myself out cold. And I wake up to the sound of a vacuum cleaner vacuuming around my head. And I look up, and my mother goes, I told you not to jump over the back of that couch. Not, oh, honey, are you okay? Nothing like that. That was my mom. So I got back at her. I went and took care of her during COVID for about 6 months. I did a really good job because she died. That's what she wanted. So yeah, I was just doing what you want, Mom, because she did keep saying goodbye a lot. She also, I got to bring it back, because she used to say, every time I'd say, what do you want? I want some toast with lots of butter. She loved that butter. She's 6 months. She ate nothing but grilled cheese sandwiches, ice cream sandwiches, and Diet Dr. Pepper. So that was everything. And you know, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's not very nutritious." I'm like, she's fucking 98 years old. She's probably gonna be okay. You know, I don't think that the grilled cheese is gonna clog up her arteries. This woman was 98 years old, took absolutely no medication, nothing. Nothing for high blood pressure, nothing for cholesterol. She could not see. She was blind. She had dementia, so she would forget where she was and who she was and why I was there and where did I come from and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, the rest of it was just, you know, mom being mom. Yeah. Yeah, she was one of those moms who, you know how they get passive aggressive sometimes. Do you ever get passive aggressive? Sometimes, yeah. So you know, sometimes we get in these fights, you know, because you do. You get in fights, and we get in these fights, and she go, I just don't know why you don't go back to California. And I'd say, well, because you asked me 365 days a year to come out here. And I gave up everything to help you. I'd say, we're a team, Mom. We're a team. Come on. We're a team. And then it was the worst fucking thing I could have said, because any time after that, anything went a little wrong, she'd go, well, I guess we're just not a team. Yeah, she was great. Love you, Mom. Love you. I hope you're having fun up there with Pappy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been me. I do teach acting here on Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. It's drop-in class. Show up. We'll have some fun. We got some great scripts. Got some merch. I wore it tonight, Mark, so I didn't have to bring it up. We also have another version. Oh, we have the other model. Yeah. Flip and scan. Nice. Yep, $20 or 4 classes, which is $200. And you get a free shirt, too. You can find me at Aaron McIntyre. That's AERON, because that's the cool way to spell it. MACINTYRE. And now I shall bring up our hostess, our lady with the mostess. Sunda. Oh, yes, I could do that. I'm going to do this in a really cool Barry White voice. Ladies and gentlemen, right now I'd like you to put your hands together for the fabulous comedy concierge here at the LA School of Comedy, 10835 Santa Monica Boulevard, Miss Samantha Lindemann!
Keep it going for Aaron, everybody. I thought you were going to say 102.7 Kiss FM, 108.35 in the AM. I'm Samantha Lindemann. Thank you guys for coming out here tonight. It is such a pleasure to be here. Keep it going for Sunda, too. I'm so glad that you're here. There's nothing like seeing somebody come into the mic, look at me, and look at the door, and wish that they hadn't walked in because you're not here. She's not here. They look at me and they go, that's not her. And then I go, I know what you guys are thinking. I'm Aviva. And then everyone goes. One time Mark was like, you don't look like Aviva. And I was like, it's true, but I don't know why every stranger thinks I'm Sunda's daughter. I love when you said you were a little passive-aggressive. I feel like you're only either completely not going to say what you're thinking, but your face is, or you're going to crumple up a piece of paper and throw it at my head. Because she did that one time, and that's not passive. But I did not notice. And I turned around and I went, and I picked it up, I think, and I gave it back to you. I didn't know for months. I didn't know she did that. And she goes, remember when I did that? I was like, I have no recollection of what you're talking about. That didn't happen. So I currently work with kids. I used to work at a really, really successful American corporation. I was like honored to serve at Bath and Body Works. And like, I think back to Bath and Body Works, 'cause I work with children. We're talking about Aaron's like perfect setup. Like, I'm thinking about these situations. Like, if any one of these things happen, like, the parents would go ballistic. Parents love it when their kids get hurt with somebody else. If this happened while you were watching, you would have said, get up and go clean your toys, like I said. But if your kid, they fall in the dirt, they're like, how could this happen? Right. And I'm like, do you know how good it is that your kid wants to play in the dirt? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, these kids are looking for worms still. I love to report that to you. She fell climbing a tree. That's amazing. I would say thank you, and I would take the kid home. And I would get her some better shoes. Okay. Like, to climb the tree? I don't know. Right. It's like, it should not be like this. But they'll be like, what were you guys doing? And I'm like, watching the other kid, whatever. But at Bath and Body Works, for 1 second, you could just be standing there. And they'd be like, Samantha, go check the west corner of the shop. Make sure the customer... Have you guys spoken to the lady with the red bob? Have you guys spoken to the lady with the clearly autistic son? Let's make sure he doesn't knock anything over. Like, they would call out customers on the walkies sometimes. Like, get that one, the girl with the big glass. Like, they would just say stuff. Every single human being that walked within 100 feet of that store had to be interacted with. So we didn't mess around. That's what I'm saying, because we have walkie-talkies at work now, too. But at Bath & Body Works, we had the earpiece. And I'm like, I think we need that earpiece. I think I need a full gaming... Well, no, I have to hear the kids. Shoot. But I had a little earpiece in. That would be horrible. Actually, that would be horrible if the walkie was in my ear and then a kid's in my ear. There's this kid who loves to play with a fossil, but really it's poop. And the mom knows. And... you know, obviously, like, the mom looks like me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I actually don't know what his mom looks like, but I'm guessing, like, an almond mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's playing in the world, and it's his world, and I gave birth to him so he could be a part of it. And it's like, that doesn't mean he should eat poop. But one time, sometimes the teachers during the day, I just want to talk to them. Because how did all these 4-year-olds get gum? How did they get gum? Look, we got eyeball gums because we did so good at You're not supposed to have gum at school. You're going to put it in your nose. Like, why do you have gum? And why do you have a scratch and sniff sticker? Because then there was like a row of them. Smell it, smell it, smell it, smell it. They were all blueberry, so it was all the same smell. But then something else happened because the kid who loves his fossil came up to me and he said, smell my fingers. Not smell my stick, smell my fingers. And I said, no, I started laughing, so I said, no. And he goes, look at my face. He went from this, look at my face. This is my serious face. Smell my fingers. And I was like, go to the bathroom and wash your hands. And I'm talking to a kid, I'm like bent down like this. This kid's like 2 feet tall. And he comes up behind me and he wraps his arms around me. He shoves his fingers on my nose and I was forced to smell his fingers. Thank God they smelled like cheese. That's something I can deal with. I was like, my sister smelled like cheese forever. I was like, get out of here, cheesehead. And that was it, you know. But sometimes I really am that teacher that, like, they hate. This kid was like, I don't like you. I wish they would curse like Joe Pesci in Home Alone. I wish they would just be like, instead of being like, you know, F, H, all of them. Instead of like the F word, they just keep calling each other fat. They don't say like F you, they're like, you're fat. They're going old school.
Right.
They're going old school. Yeah, like they're really like going back to that. And so that's really fast. I guess because 5-year-olds don't have iPhones to cyberbully. They only have iPads for Wi-Fi only. And so that's really funny. And it's funny because they're obsessed with this thing called K-pop demon hunters. And there is nothing like the most purest baby angel sweetheart coming up to me and being like, demon hunters, demon hunters, demon hunter. I'm like, this is kind of scary. Like, why are you obsessed with demons? I'm talking about demons, exorcists. Nowadays, if a kid brought in the exorcist, I'd be like, oh my God, you're reading such a big book. Good for you. So it's a completely different world, but it's also the same because they're still trying to eat worms. But in other news, I was wronged by a man so horribly that other men were like, that's wrong. You know what I mean? Like, the reaction that I wanted from the surgeons at the hospital when my dentist fucked up my wisdom teeth, I actually got. You know, like, the doctors would not say that the dentist messed up. They'd be like, well, sometimes this is an occasional, and da-da-da-da. The nurses were like, this is wrong. She should not be on the heart floor after her wisdom teeth, like, da-da-da. And the doctors, like, would go into autopilot, like, this is sometimes an occurrence from it. And I was like, okay, whatever. But these guys, they were actually like, that's fucked up, like. But you know what? I hate what people do to people. And we're all guilty of it. Like, I'll be like, this guy did this and this and this. I always thought he was weird. I always thought he was off. Not even like he's ugly. Like, that's fine. What I'm used to, like, he's ugly. Like, I know. I know. And, but I'm not used to, like, he was a freak, whatever. Just tell me, pull me aside and be like, there's something off about him. And then I'll be more attracted to him, obviously. And then I'll get it done and then I'll move on. But this guy, he really, like, was flirting with me. I go to the bathroom, he's flirting with my friend. Like, it was really crazy. And I got him on the phone. I was under the impression for some reason that he called me, so I called him. And then, you know, 2 seconds later, or it was probably like 2 hours. It's all lies. 2 hours later, he calls me finally. Because I said, I'm at your house. And he said, I never gave you my address. No, I'm kidding. I didn't. I'm not mobile enough to make it to Long Beach like that. But literally I got him on the phone and obviously I recorded it. And some spirit came. I think it was like the opposite of a curse. I think it was like a sin blessing. Like, he started apologizing to me and I said, it sounds like you're reading a list. Did you write this down? He's like, I self-sabotage. And I was like, this sounds like you're reading a list. He's like, a list? He doesn't sound like that. But he was like, a list. And I was like, yeah, like, of things that men apologize to girls about. And I told him, I was like, hey, it's okay if you need to gaslight yourself to sleep at night. Oh. That's not a phrase. I made that up. Gaslight yourself to sleep. At one point I said, 'Cause listen, I got very like, I said, let me tell you one fucking thing. I am all about that bass. About that bass, no treble.
Okay.
Why did I say that? That's Meghan Trainor.
I know.
I know. And then he was apparently also being racist. And then I really went crazy, obviously. But
So you're a black mother?
no, I told him, I said, why did you ask her about Cardi B and not me? And then I sang Bodak Yellow. And it was really crazy. And I'm going to make an edit of it. And then maybe I'll go viral on TikTok. But I guess the point of that is to stay tuned for that TikTok. Obviously, it's going to be one part. I won't do that to you. But stop by, guys. We're here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Lovely Jen is here with me tonight. Jen's going to join this freaky family. You want to say hi? Okay, come on, Jen. Come say hi. Come up here. Introduce yourself. Yeah, she said it. I know. You made it happen. Come on. You're going to talk.
Hey guys, my name's Jen. Nice to meet everybody up here. I just really love the show. That's what I'm coming up here to say is it was a really great show today. We love to see you guys in the crowd because as I feel like everybody here had a great set, but obviously when people are in the crowd and vibing, the energy just flows. So it was great to speak and hopefully I'll see you guys again.
Well, you will because of what you do.
Yes. Yes, so you guys will see me here more often. I'll start doing more social media posts, and I really want to just interact with the crowd more. We can do like Q&As and really fun just challenges online. I really like to connect via like digital art and just showing my style. So I can't wait to see more of you guys and for you to see more of me. My Instagram is @DivineWorld, and my TikTok is the same thing. So, yes.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you make me walk. Why does that phone ring?
Because your phone's going on.
No, it's his phone. Mark, that's your phone. Oh my God, we have to get that phone.
It's in the office.
No, it could be somebody that wants to come in, but we don't have that hooked up. No,
Okay.
It's sitting next to you, Aaron.
It wasn't flashing.
no, it's not flashing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This guy that you love. Was it flashing? No.
No.
No. That's really good about the what she's talking about because we're gonna have a TikTok night, TikTok live. We have opportunities to do all these things on social platforms. And when people say sometimes, "Oh no, you should never do that platform. Only on this platform," I think you've got to be seen on a myriad of platforms at one point. You'll be just so surprised how you get ahead in this business. I mean, you'll just be surprised. People wonder how I got on stage at the Laugh Factory. It's because I went there. I went there and I told the owner I didn't like the way I was treated the first time I was there. Nobody told me that this was, I didn't want to curse anyway. My manager told me to say the F word. She goes, ask him if anybody ever banging a fat guy. That's what I say, bang. But she's like, say the F word. She goes, I'm your manager. Trust me, I'm funny. My grandfather's a comic. Trust me, I'm funny. When you're doing an audition for comedy, don't curse. You're smart enough not to. And I cursed, and they asked me to leave. Did they know who they're talking to? I've been doing comedy almost a year. I got on Jerry Lewis on the friggin' telethon. Nobody would submit me because I just started. So I got a tape, and I submitted myself. And back then, when you got a FedEx, it was important. You know what I mean? It was called by hand. And yes, they opened it. So you have to open your own doors sometimes. It's who you know, who you blow, who's next. It's you. That's right, the one and only. Eamon's coming to the stage. Is that right?
Ah, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, you were talking about book reports for school. Giving book reports was what got me into this. Same thing. I was giving a report in front of my fourth grade class when it just came to me. It was just like bolt out of the blue. I'll act things out. And all of a sudden there was a huge explosion, boom, and all that. There I was, just being more physical, more illustrated. And, well, I guess I had a flair for it. And also, I had a writing disability. I couldn't write things down. You're supposed to submit it in paperwork, but my teacher liked it so much, she gave me an A, and I didn't even have to hand in the report. Did everything oral. Nuts, ain't it? Yeah. You're talking about your job. Yeah, I've had some pretty funny jobs myself. I was doing some tour work here in Hollywood, but it hasn't been doing well because you can't really go to a lot of the new places of interest anymore. That's one thing's because the people who are really famous don't want you there. And in other places, there are people who are not so famous, and then you don't want to be there. Broadway used to be this, the mecca of Hollywood stage scene, beautiful theaters where the stages were and the musicals were. Now it's just really gone downhill. Best thing you can see there is the Bradbury Hotel, where parts of Blade Runner were filmed. Yeah. I'm from Boston, and when I was up in Boston, I was a bicycle courier. It was on its way out, but I practically had the whole circuit to myself for delivering small packages. It was crazy, especially when I went to the laboratory section near MIT, where all the buildings were just very brutalist, and the glass windows were all shaded, very dark, because the men in black worked there. And I would always get kind of antsy when I had my backpack with the parcels, do not open, classified. There'd be a clinking sound when you're pedaling along. Clink, clink, clink. It's like, these things made of glass. If I have an accident, it's going to be a live-action adaptation of Resident Evil. What was I? Oh, yes, and people, my friends, everybody was saying, Eamon, you're an honorary Chinese with how much biking you're doing. It's nuts. Meanwhile, found this funny. In China, a lot of the bigger cities, they've outlawed motorcycles. Outlawed motorcycles because they're symbolic with poverty. I guess if you ride a Kawasaki Ninja, you're poor and unpatriotic. Yeah, ain't it? No, ain't it the truth? Now, if you're in the industry, it's not just who you know and how you show and what you show, but when you show it. There's a lot of examples of bits of entertainment that were just the product of bad timing. I wanted to play something for you. Something really special. This little number was released back in the summer of '77. Hear that? Can you pick that up? Yeah. Yeah. Sounds very alien, doesn't it? Yeah. But didn't get a lot of good reception. It was the WOW signal, real-life radio signals sent from outer space. The exact same time that Star Wars was released. So I guess when people were hearing this in the news, they were thinking, oh, that sounds like R2-D2 after he's being put down. Hey, so, yeah. And, of course, Star Wars belongs to Disney. I did, my book report was on The Black Hole, a really dark, bleak story put out by Disney. And Disney is going kind of dark in their Star Wars stories. Where I hear everybody complaining that, cryptocurrency or universal currency is a sign of the end times. Real life. Just the other day, I was at a donut shop, and I bought a donut and some coffee, reached into my wallet, pulled out some money, said, there you go. They didn't accept the money. It was cards only. Oh my gosh. It was for real. Dystopia. Can't even pay for your own, can't even pay for a snack and a drink. But people are still fans of Star Wars. But they use cryptocurrency. I guess if you carry around enough firepower to blow up a planet, or if you just want to go to another planet, it's all fine. But we're stuck here on one lousy planet. Yeah. I come from a family of educators. My grandparents were both school teachers, taught during the Great Depression. They believed in education, so even when the economy was trash during the Depression, they taught for free on a favor system because they believed, kids got to be educated. My parents, both teachers. Some of my siblings are in the educational system. Me, I dropped out of college, community college. Like I said, I have a very serious disability. I dislike so many things. See, a lot of us have this dyslexia. I didn't drop out. I really got thrown out. I did a thesis on a psychology condition. I think that trigger words should be a subject taught in the schools. And I had it all down to a science. I was going to call it trigonometry, but it didn't go over well. Yeah. And so, you all heard the group GWAR is in hot water with the media over an assassination, a play assassination, staged, on their stage. They have made a whole career out of dressing up in crazy costumes, right out of the vintage heavy metal comics, and bloody sacrifices and mayhem right up on the stage, and they can still play their instruments. Top that, Doja Cat. She's in hot water because she's spreading satanic messages. No, come on. Making this into something it isn't. Spread satanic messages. You got to be playing the guitar. That's how it is. Ask Gene Simmons. But serious, GWAR is in hot water because in one of their stage shows, somebody takes a great big sword and hacks off a caricature of Elon Musk. Chops his head off. But Elon is carrying his chainsaw. Come on. It's fair fight and all. God, I tell you. I mean, if you're going to be carrying that weapon, you got to be ready to use it. Okay. And so we're in hot water with just about everybody these days. And now I say there's also talk that China is trying to claim the whole Pacific. They say, to be specific, it's our Pacific. No, but recently China and they're going against the Philippines. A Philippine Coast Guard ship did a total Keystone Cops incident in the South China Sea. 2 Chinese naval vessels were chasing after them, shooting water cannons at them because, they're... And the 2 Chinese vessels crashed into each other, blamed it on the Philippines. My gosh, talk about lack of skills. Oh, but I guess it's just not racist since it was the Philippines that made them crash, right? But it's just like them to blame everyone else. Oh, but that's the most I have right now today, and thank you. My name is Eamon, EAMONNTHEZEALOT, Eamon the Zealot, on Instagram.
You got it.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you got it. Stay right there. Thank you very much. Oh, God. I can imagine him working somewhere. Like a librarian. He'd be like the cool librarian. You'll ask him for something. He'll say, but did you know in 1855 they had this, and then they had this, and then the warlocks came. and I'm a warlock, Sunda. And I'd be like, yes. And my name is Damiana. Damiana. The Omen. Remember the Omen?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. It makes me old. All right. This has been a great night. I got so much more to say, but you need to get your podcast done. I know I do. Looking forward to hopefully very soon having Evelyn Champagne King here. That would be great. If you're an old disco diva, am I allowed to sing Shame Burning, Make My Whole Body Yearn? What you do to me is a shame. And you know how she got discovered? I mean, I'm sure there's a whole different story now. But she was singing when she was cleaning the bathrooms in a building. And that's how she got picked up.
Really?
So if you see me singing down the street and I start to smile when I trip over my feet, kick me in my eye. All right. I know Aaron wants to kick me in mine. I'm like, Aaron, can I use the studio? He's like, I don't care. It's yours. What are you calling me for? All right. It's been a very good time here, and really, you should get your podcasting done. Once we get this social media night up for our TikTok live night, it's going to be a lot of fun because we have less of a chance of getting banned. Why? Because I'm a Swedish and black redneck Jew, all right, with a Hindu name, with a stepfather who was Italian. So tell me who I can't talk about. But Sister Philomena, you'll see her on TV. You're going to think about me. She was like, I knew it was her. She has all her teeth. And those crazy blue eyes. She was always afraid of me, though. She never had me as a student. All right, I recommend all your kids read The Exorcist. And for the Jewish kids, I just want to tell you all that this Yom Kippur, if you're going to pull, what they try to pull at Sinai. So this is what happens. Jews, certain days you can't do things right. Those are the days that they want to do everything bad. Everything bad. Everything. It's like Lent. You gave up carne for Lent, right? And then you're like, I'm going to eat as much meat as I want to. It is Yom Kippur. And my daughter Tova has brought her friend over to the hotel we have to stay at because my ceiling's leaking. And they're watching The Exorcist. And I said, you can't watch this. And she says, yes, we can. She goes, and I can eat too because they didn't have to fast yet because she hadn't made her bat mitzvah yet. I said, you can't watch this. You don't have any ammo for this, man. You need to know the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, it will and will be the world without it. You got to know every prayer to watch The Exorcist. You can't have an upside-down crucifix coming out of someone's private parts through her throat, and you're going to be like, Shema. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And I said to her, speaking of shitting her pants, this is her girlfriend that came over and sat in my house and pooped in my couch the night before Pesach, Passover. And I said, why did you do that? And she said, yes.
What do you mean?
Yes.
What do you mean?
You heard me. She sat there and just pooped.
Whoa.
Were you telling a good story? She want to get up.
She was watching a freaking... It was Dora. How interesting is that? That's boring and racist. It's so racist. Swiping, no swiping. Why? The swiper's Dominican, is that why? It's so racist. She was 5 years old. She knew better. She did it in my couch, and her mother says to me, don't say anything. Her mother goes, shh, don't say anything, don't say anything. She said she's already embarrassed. She's embarrassed. You got to pay me to clean this couch. And she didn't. And I had a couch company come. They're like, we can't. We're closed. And I was like, you're open. I'll pay you double. So my neighbors came in, and there's like, something wrong? The machine's been going on for 3 hours. It's a lot of shit. All right? In honor of Sam Brown, who would talk about the real racehorses. Here comes Methadone Sound the outside, followed by urine-encrusted raincoat. And in the lead is Part-Time Whore. And it's Part-Time Whore. Here he comes, part-time whore by a nose hair. All right, so I'd bring him up. He was so funny, wasn't he? God rest his soul. He's so crazy. Some people do. Some people do. He was crazy. I loved him. He wouldn't get off. It would not get off. People would ask him, and he would say no, and he would stand there and say the Shema, no reason. They were, yes. Then he started his Haftorah, and he would tell me, you know, I'm doing on Yom Kippur. I am eating everything. I'm having sushi. He told me. So I don't know why I'm sharing this with you. Please watch Sister Philomena. All right, guys. Don't forget. I love you all. Thank you for listening. Good night. That's a crazy story. Is my IG off?
No, it's absolutely on.
If my